Hi friends, my name is Peter Rosen. Thank you for watching this video. I wanted to talk about real quick a few pointers on how to be a competitive buyer in today's seller's market. So the number one tip I would recommend to everybody is to get pre-approved for a loan. Now, I know this is a controversial topic because a lot of people think that, hey, well, start looking for a home and then when we get to it, we're just gonna get pre-approved for a home loan. Well, in the seller's market right now, that's actually the worst thing anybody can do. And tell you why. Number one, before you waste your time on looking for a house that you may or may not be able to afford, you want to make sure that you qualify for the payment. So, get your pre-qualification ready, and then at least you would know what your maximum purchasing power is. So, based on that pre-approval letter, you know what the highest purchase price you can afford, and then you can look for properties in the area and search for the dream home. I see it time and time and time again that people start looking for properties online, and then when they get close to ready to buy a house, then they start talking to a realtor, and maybe even the realtor starts showing them properties, and then by the time they get to the financing stage, sometimes they find out that, hey, they don't qualify for what they thought they may qualify for, because just because people think that they make certain amount of money, especially with self-employed people. Sometimes they think they make a lot of money, they can afford the payments, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they actually qualify for uh, the same amount on the paper. So that's very important to get your financing done first. Make sure you know what your purchasing power is, then you know how much you can afford, and then you can find a property. So that's very important. Number two is especially in the Southern California area, make sure that you don't try to find a unicorn. What I mean by that is don't try to find your perfect house. I know home prices are very expensive, and people think that, hey, if I'm gonna pay so much for a house, I want to make sure it's gonna be a perfect house. But for especially for first-time home buyers, that's probably a big mistake because you most likely you're not going to be able to find everything in a house. You have to give up something. You have to compromise on something. It's either going to be the price of the home, it's either going to be the location of the home, or it's either going to be the condition of the home. So it's very, very difficult to find all three unless you have a higher budget. So you either have to give up on a location, you either have to compromise on a condition of the property, or it's going to be the price. One of the other, you might get two, but you're probably not going to get three. So have your must-haves. What is the must-have that you have to have in a house? You must have two-bedroom. You must have three-bedroom. Things like that, right? You must have certain things in the house, but not necessarily, having a pool in the backyard, or not necessarily a huge backyard, or not necessarily to have maybe a granite countertop. You're okay with something like a simple one. Things like that, right? So you can always improve the house as you live in the property, make it better and better and better. And as you also, after you buy the house, you're going to have equity appreciation, and then maybe time to, a few years down the line, maybe to upgrade the house to a nicer and bigger and better home. But most likely, that your first home is going to be, it's not going to be a perfect house. It's just going to be a moving house for now, and then maybe down the line, you think about maybe a better, bigger and better home. That's what I would recommend. So have your must-haves and have your um, what's nice to have in the property separate. Now, be prepared for a bidding war. Now, statistically speaking, right now, winter time and then maybe even springtime, it's much better to go out and shop for a house than summertime, for example. You're going to have a lot less competition on the market. And especially right now, winter time, people think about the holidays, or January, they're still cold. It's not, most people are not making it the top priority to go out and find a house in December, January, and so forth. So you're going to have a much better chance to find a house. Maybe you're going to have lot less competition, and but get prepared for a competition out there, for a bidding war out there. So be patient and know the right strategy. So that's also important. So don't let your emotions get to you, because I know it's a stressful situation, especially it's very emotional. This is probably the biggest investment in your life. Obviously the home, and then people get emotionally attached to certain properties after it took them so much time to find one. Finally they made an offer, and then boom, maybe they don't accept your offer, or something happens. It's so bottom line, it's tough market, but with the right professional, we can make it much smoother and easier for you. But be prepared that it might not be as a piece of cake walk in the park as in the buyer's market. Today is a seller's market, so just be prepared for that. I don't mean to sound like a scarecrow, but you know rather have your guards up and be prepared for the worst and get the best than hope for the best and you're going to get the worst. So overall, if you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call. My number is 951-999-3366. My website has a lot more videos on for buyers and sellers, and keep updating you information there. Also, I have a link to search for properties there, as well as have a link to search for loan scenarios, payments, closing costs, and things like that. And of course, if you like and subscribe the page, that would help me out. And again, thank you so much for watching, and hope you enjoyed this video. Hope to talk to you soon and help you out soon. Thank you. Bye bye.